Hello, beautiful people. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on which part of the world you are joining us from. Welcome to Enuani Cultural Forum, where we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people. You're welcome, you're welcome. Once you come online and see this video, the first thing you should do is to double tap it and give it a thumbs up, and then you share it to your audience so that we can get ahead. If you are not also a subscriber, use this opportunity to subscribe to our channel. Let's get it on with. I'm going to put a question here. I'm going to ask, what do you know about Ubulu people? So this is the question, and I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to leave it here so you can answer in the comment section so that we can have a discussion. Anthony is hi. It's nice to have you on board, Anthony Okafor. Good one. As you're coming online, you just hit the thumbs up so that we can see that you are here. As you're coming online, just hit the thumbs up by double tapping on the video. We are looking today at history of Ozubulu and all other. I'm from Ubuluku in Anioma South local government area of Delta State. That is my hometown, Ubuluku in Anioma South local government area of Delta State. And today we are looking at the history of Ozubulu, Ubulu, Ubulekwe, Ubulu Isi Ụzọ, Okovuru, Ubulu Ọha Ọzara, and all other Ubulu communities in Igbo land. I am particularly from Ubuluku. Yes, Ozubulu and Ubuluku are brothers, but I saw a post online and also got a phone call yesterday that made me think perhaps it's time that I discussed this topic. You know, somebody online wrote about the history and relationship between Ozubulu and Ubuluku people. How Oza migrated from Ubuluku to found Ozubulu. And then another person countered him by saying, no, it is the other way around. That it is Ubuluku people that came from Ozubulu. I just read it and laughed. So commenting on it alone will not solve the problem. So I decided to make a video to educate us about the history of Ubulu people. I will begin by saying that the founder of Ubulu, Ubuluku, Ashama, and Adonte are all siblings. They are Obodo, Ekelie, Ezenalia, Ezemu. They are 5 siblings, and they traveled. They are among the returning Igbos who came back here on a recoil migration from Ife in present-day Yoruba land. They first sojourned through Afo in Ndokwa and then stayed a little at Ubulu before they came to Ubuluku. It is from Ubuluku that the people of Ubulu, that Ubulokiti sprang up. It is from Ubuluku that Ubulokiti came up. So there are waves of migration away from Ubuluku because of the several wars the community called Ubuluku has fought in the years past. Particular among them is the migration of 1750. So the migration of 1750 was during the war between Ubulu and Benin Kingdom. And this particular man called Oza left Ubulu. Now, in Ozubulu, he is called Ozubulu. Ozubulu, like a titled man from Ubulu. And that is 100% correct. Although his name is Oza. Oza is a name in Ubulu till today. But the Igbos of the eastern region called him Ozubulu, which means a titled man from Ubulu. And that is a good and correct description. Okay? So, Oza was an Ozo from Ubulu. So, when he founded Ubulu, in the other side of the river Niger, it was called Ozubulu. Ozubulu. A community that was founded by an Ozo from Ubulu. Ozubulu. Not Ozubulu, meaning another Ubulu. Ozubulu, like a titled man from Ubulu. Ozubulu. You said it is too loud. Okay, that's very good. That's very, very good. It's nice to see this, that it is loud. It is better loud than it is not talking much at all. I'm talking to the 13 God cool. You can just shut up and listen, okay? If it is loud, just shut up and listen. Or turn down the volume of your phone or radio. So, Ozo, whose name is Oza, left Ubulu and went all the way to the present day called Ozubulu and founded the community. And I'm going to read a brief history of Ozubulu to you. I am reading from the story of Ubulu Kingdom, a well-researched work, a book that took at least 10 years of research before it was published. Thank you, my brother from Liverpool. It's nice to have you on board. It's nice to have you on board. If it is too loud, it's because I'm using a microphone and we would rather have it loud than not loud at all, okay? So sorry for my manners. I thought it was all these detractors. So origin of Ozubulu, I'm going to read. Just carefully listen. Ozubulu is one of the towns that claim Ubulu as its place of origin. According to Ajebo, Ozubulu traditions reveal that the town was peopled by 5 waves of migrations. First, there was the Apollo, Ikono, and Amahike waves of migration. The survivors of these groups claim to be the earliest inhabitants of the land. Ajebo went further to explain that the second wave from Ubulu, a town in present-day Delta State of Nigeria, this group of migrants from Ubulu constitute the most important of all the later waves of migrations into the area now known as Ozubulu. There is a consensus in Ozubulu that the bulk of the people who now inhabit the town are descendants of this group of migrants from Ubulu. Available evidence has also shown that it was the immigrants who founded the town and imposed a name on it. Of course, Ubulu was an existing town. Ubulu was an existing town as well. Ubulokiti was an existing town before we had Ozubulu. Also, a titled man from Ubulu established this community called Ozubulu, hence the name. So continuing, the progenitor of the town, Oza of Ubulu, whose name the town bears, migrated from Ubulu approximately around 17th century. The consensus reached by both Ubulu and Ozubulu people is that Oza, a warrior, was the leader of the group that left from Ubulu and founded Ozubulu. The suffix Ubulu attached to the name Oza is derived from Ubulu, the ancestral home of Oza. The Igbo in Council of Ozubulu explained that The name of their town is pronounced as Ozubulu from Oza Ubulu, and certainly not meaning another Ubulu, as often misinterpreted. Please, if you're just joining us, we are looking at the history of Ozubulu, an Ubulu community in southeast part of Nigeria, and their relationship with other Ubulu towns, especially the parent home of Ubuluku in Anioma South local government area of Delta State. If you're just joining us, kindly double tap on this video to give it a thumbs up. Also share it to your audience. If this is your first time of coming across our videos, please subscribe to the channel. Let's continue, and I'll read your comments a few minutes later. On the other hand, there appears to be varied accounts of history of the origin of these earlier settlers. Some writers wrote that the ancestor of Apollo people, one of the earliest inhabitants of Ozubulu, is believed to be a man called Apollo in Ozubulu. They represent only an insignificant part of the entire population, but they command a very high esteem in the town. Another version has it that the Ikono people, like the Ubulu, are believed also to be one of the earliest groups in the area that became Ozubulu. The name of their ancestor was Ikonoji. Currently, they are found in Nza, or Nza, the presumed warriors. The youngest village in Ozubulu, they are also. They form a distinct patrilineage, but are incorporated mainly into the minor lineage of Uhuoguma. Unlike the Ubulu and the Ikono groups, Amahike people trace their origin from Unri. Their ancestor, Unhike, settled in the present day area as one of the earliest people. He was said to be a palm wine tapper. These earlier inhabitants, Ubulu, Ikono, and Amanhike, joined by Oza, believed to have arrived with other 9 immigrant groups: Odeda, Unogu, Amokbala, Isiofo, Akwo, Mbeneke, Ubahu, Okutu, and Abai, from Ubuluku, to form the 12 groups that established Ozubulu. Hence, the derivation of the designation Ozubulu, Ebemiri na Abo. Ozubulu is a place of 12 tribes. Just like most communities that are Igbo speaking are a place of 9 tribes. Ebu Iteneni. Ozubulu is Ebem Irina Abo. That is their nickname. Ozubulu Ebem Irina Abo, a place of 12 tribes. Oral sources affirm that Oza, a warrior, subdued the earlier settlers. He intermingled with these earlier groups, bringing their number to 12 entities. These 12 entities agreed to stay as one, the last settlers having accepted to protect the others in case of any wars. Another source claimed that they went into a covenant that involved the burying of 12 earthen pots at the shrine in an deity. Each pot represented each group. This story is affirmed by Igwe in council in Ozubulu. That covenant made at Oriakpo stipulated that none will kill each other again, and none will shed blood of another, as there were now relations. There was a tree around which they made the covenant known as Uboofo. All component parts were buried there as a covenant to become one entity. Those involved in the Ozubulu covenant, Ajebo claimed, were Apollo, Ikono, Amahike Odeda, Unogu, Amaokpala, Isiofo, now Ebon Isiofo, Akwa, Mpeneke, Ubahu, Okutu, and Abai. Today, 4 are in existence. The other 8 have fizzled into the 4 main areas of Ozubulu. If you're just joining us, we are looking at the history of the origins of the place called Ozubulu, founded by Oza and Ozo from Ubuluku. I had argued while discussing with one of my friends from Ozubulu that Ubuluku people do not give the Ozo title. It is Ogwashuku kingdom that has Ozo title. But I was also educated. Ozo means title holder, chief. So whatever we call it, the person is an Ozo title holder. And interestingly, we will get to find out the title that Oza held in Ubuluku. We will even get to know which quarter did he migrate away from and what was he in Ubuluku before he migrated. If you're just joining us, kindly double tap on this video to give it a thumbs up. We are looking to also get as many subscribers as we can. So please share this video to your audience. Share it to the WhatsApp groups of Igbo people that you belong to. Invite friends and family to come and follow this platform where we learn Igbo history. Now, I am beginning to discuss relationship between Igbo communities, both west and east of the River Niger, so that nobody can jump out tomorrow again to say we are not Igbos, when your history is saying a different thing. Let's look at the man, Oza, his personality. Oza, like everyone in Anioma, had a migratory route as gathered from oral traditions. The ancestors of Oza were migrants from Anidu that first tried to settle in a community located in Anyocha North local government area of Delta State. But because of the non-welcoming attitude, left from there and settled in Ubuluku. Wow. Wow. History is so sweet. Why I'm shouting wow, 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 like a government truck is this? Government patrol van is this? I have been to this other community they are talking about in Akuku Igbo. I have also met with the family where Oza stayed before he came to Ubulu. But let me continue this reading. Mind you, I'm not the author of this book I'm reading, but I'm just confirming what the author wrote. That Oza's family stayed in somewhere in Anyocha North. That place is Akuku Igbo. And I don't think, is it to do with Uboko? It's Akuku Igbo, not Anyocha North. It's in Oshumili. It's in Oshumili. Akuku Igbo is in Oshumili. The family called Mopai family in Akuku Igbo. But let me continue. That's where Oza stayed first before he came to Ubuluku. The ancestors of Oza were from Anidu that first settled in a community located in Anyocha North local government area of Delta State. But because of the non-welcoming attitude left from there and settled in Ubuluku, Oza grew into a strong young man, had many wives and children. The word Oza bears semblance to a Benin name as well. An example of such a name was mentioned by Areva in his book, A Short History of Benin, while referring to Ewuare. Areva noted, the reign of Ewuare was notable for the number of famous magicians. They were Umweohi, Ozuku of Ogan, Oza of Benin City. This reference could explain the word Oza as a Benin name. Oza's ancestors had, like the Omo-Ashama, distinguished themselves and were naturalized and absorbed into Ubuluku mainstream as citizens and as warriors. In later years, Oza was made a chief in the palace of Ubulu Kingdom and became referred as Oza Odogu. So Oza invariably became one of the oldest bearers of the Odogu title in Ubuluku. Yes, there is an Ocha in Anambra. I'm very much aware of that. And the song by Ozubulu Brothers. I know that song too. Okay, so continuing, when you hear me say Benin, don't feel any way. There were Igbo people in Benin, so Oza was definitely one of them with his family. So they migrated to this area. So let me continue by saying that Oza was then known as Ozubulu. His greeting was Abe. So people salute him by calling him out his chieftaincy title Odogu and greet him Abe. With time, his title and greeting took over his name, and so he became referred to as Odogu Abe or Oza Odogu Abe, and was a member of the Okwiyese. Explaining further, Nkwo Omogolo explained, this is an elder, that Oza lived in Isho quarters, from where he vehemently where he eventually migrated from Anioma with so many people from different families and people loyal to him, including some chiefs, wives, relations, and domestic help. Why Oza left Ubulu? Now, this area is very, very unique and sometimes kept a secret. The reason why Oza left Ubulu. If you're just seeing our video and you are not yet a subscriber to this channel, kindly please hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. And if you're seeing the video actively, please double tap on the video to give it thumbs up. We have over 63 people watching and just 6 thumbs up. It's very poor. It's not even half, not even a quarter. Double tap on the video to give it thumbs up. We are looking at histories of various Ubulu communities in Igbo land, both east and west of the river Niger. So we are looking at now why Oza left Ubulu, which is a very interesting history. Oral history has it that a prince Oza committed crime that amounted to Iyaja, which meant an abomination punishable by death or banishment from the land for 7 years. Oza, though a member of Okwiyese, that's the war group, had, according to Princess Henrietta Adogwashi, Jibono Ne Obanwa, decided, like some other chiefs, not to engage in war against Benin people because of Ubulu ancestral root and the covenant between Ubulu and Benin, that some domestic decisions his stand on the war was revealed by one of his wives to her family, Umobi, that's the royal family. Thus, Oza was accused of insubordination to the throne and called a traitor. That was also punishable by death. Oza, a great warrior, felt betrayed and in anger cut his pregnant wife down. The community termed this as double murder. Omogolo claimed that for this reason, a conspiracy to buy Oza was hatched by Umobi, his in-laws, with the help of the Idoloma, the executioners. But despite his crime against the land, the plan was revealed to Oza. He left Ubulu that night, traveling towards Ishiago. This was during the Ubulu-Benin War of 1750. On arrival, Oza sent a message to his trusted friends informing them of his safe arrival to Ishiago. A few days later, the king, who also loved Oza, sent word to Oza to move on across the river so he could be located. Across the river, as he could be located, he would not be responsible for his death. Oza left Ishiago, moved towards the river Niger into Atani, and finally to present place called Ozubulu. It is believed that the killing of his pregnant wife was what took Oza out of Ubulu to return only 7 years after, but he moved to present day Ozubulu and never returned. Interesting, right? That's the history of Ozubulu. There are so many other Ubulu communities like Ubulu Ihejiofo, Ubulu Oru, that's Ubulu Ihejiofo, Ubulu Ekwe, Ubulu Isiuzo, Ubulu Ntu, Oko Ovuru in Imo State, Ubulu Ikem in present day Anambra State or around Onitsha, Uburu in Ebonyi, Ubulu Ozara in Enugu. There are so many Ubulu affiliated communities east and west of the river Niger, and they are all Igbo people. The narration of the history of Oza now will make somebody think Oza was a Benin man. If he was a Benin man, he would not have moved away from Benin to Igbo land. He is still among this group of returning Igbos that I class as Akalaka, Okiki, the one and the father of Ekpeye, Iwuro her people, Ezechima people, and then this Oza held the title of Odogu. One of my Benin bloggers, a friend, tried to reply me about my video concerning the Iyase and the Odogu titles. When I wrote, because there's nothing you will not see from these people, they are claiming the Odogu title as a Benin title, that it is not an Igbo word. They called it Odogu, O-D-O-G-U-N, and that it is a Benin title. But it took me a lot of time to clear that. So while my friend who is a Benin blogger was replying me, he made videos in Benin language, in Edo language. I don't understand Benin language. Not even a word in Benin. Wow. Wow, thank you so much. That should be Ubulu in our house. There is also Ubulu all over Okwani, and even within Anyocha South, where Ubulu is, because of secondary and tertiary migrations. These are Igbo people. I don't know how I will stand, because I'm trying to create a video with somebody from Ozubulu. I've met a couple of them, very enlightened. There are people on YouTube here like Remy Ilona, a PhD holder in history. He has his doctorate in history. And he is from Ozubulu. He has made several videos to assert how the people of Ozubulu migrated from Ubuluku. In fact, I'm going to make a video that will help me to share that video that Remy Ilona posted. He is my brother from Ozubulu. What I'm trying to project to you and to everyone who is watching this video today is that there are Igbo people in the east and in the west of the river Niger. Thank you so much, my brother. Odogu in our own parlance, in Western Igbo land, is a title. It is not a nickname. It is not something you hold somebody with. Odogu is a warlord, a feared warlord who goes and conquers. So that is why when you see somebody who usually achieves results, they tend to call him Odogu, because Odogu is a result achiever. If you send Odogu as an emissary to a community, he may return back with his mado to show evidence. That is how Odogu is, a warlord. So Odogu is not an ordinary person at all, but he is under Iyase. He's under Onowu, that is Iyase, because Onowu is the defense chief, which some people call prime minister. But here, a king is overarching. Our kings are overarching. They have the power of life and death. Perhaps you can call that the influence we had from our neighbors. But our king is overarching. He can pronounce somebody dead. That is how it used to be. It's not like that anyway these days, but they still have enormous power. So, The people of Ozubulu and all other Ubulu people in the eastern parts of Igbo land are our brothers. We are one and the same. And I'm going to use this video to join with the videos produced by our brother Remi Ilona and share. Thank you for watching this video. We were able to stay live for 30 minutes. I could have stayed on, and of course I wish to. But I think it is not yet time for my subscribers and my friends to be online. So we do not have too many people participating. So I will go offline and hope to see you next time, or I will post a recorded video. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting Enuani Cultural Forum. Please, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button right away. Let's keep the love flowing. I would like to have more subscribers. If you also have a means to encourage us to support this channel, please don't hold back. Go to our channel link, our bio. You will find our WhatsApp phone numbers there. Send us a message, reach out to us, we will respond. See you in our subsequent videos. Give this video a double tap to give it a thumbs up. We will catch up some other time. Thank you everyone who joined this live broadcast. I will see you in our next broadcast. Thank you. Bye.